Hey, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. As always, it's so flattering that you join us once again. This week has been filled with activity.
Oh, yes. This is actually the fourth consecutive week of a federal shutdown. How do you like that?
Well, welcome, Denise, to the tie of 35 days for the shutdown. And it doesn't seem like we're going to make any progress here in the near future. So a new record, unfortunately, is going to be set.
Yes. In addition to that, today is actually election day. So at 7 p.m., polls are closing in Virginia. So that's another big thing happening. And then last week, the Federal Reserve actually announced the federal funds rate, the new rate. So all of those things compiled together, we thought a video was a must do. We're going to tell you exactly what's happened from last week to this week and how it may affect your plans if you're thinking of selling or buying a home.
Yeah, as we talked again about the federal funds rate, let's get started there. There was a decrease last week of 0.25%. And I think during the week, a lot of talk, talk is talk, action is action. And it seemed like the Fed rate of a reduction of 0.25 point really had little or no effect on the interest rates, at least in the short term here. A lot of that explanation is offered that, the federal funds rate really applies to more short-term type of borrowing, maybe home equity lines, maybe short credit lines. So it doesn't apply to the longer-term mortgage rates. So that was important. I think optimism is still there. A lot of people are talking about it. In fact, just this afternoon, we received a quote for an FHA-based loan at 5.5%, which is extremely competitive for a 30-year fixed rate.
Yes, rates have stayed steady and they have gradually been coming down. From last week, when we did this video, it was at 6.2. Now we're at 6.1. But again, it hovers around that 6.
Kind of bumps up a little bit. It comes back down.
6.2. It varies. But it's for the most part, the overall trend is going down. So I think that's good news for everyone. In terms of the elections, I don't know about you, but I'm tired of the postcards. I am tired of throwing away paper.
How about the text?
Knocks on the door. So in a way, it's good election is over, but I think a lot of people's attentions were drawn to that recently. So I think it explains some of it has been business as usual. People anticipating the end of the shutdown and starting to do the work involved. If they're starting to sell their home or buy their home, they're still continuing with that process in hopes that it gets better for sure.
Yeah, in anticipation. And, again, last weekend we did open houses and the turnout was actually kind of brisk. You get enough people through that you kind of lose count of how many people came through. I mean, a lot of people are still very optimistic. And at lunch, just after we did last week's video, somebody asked me, how has this affected the business that you and Denise are doing? And quite candidly, for our little microcosm here, there's been an incident that we talked to you about one of the government programs. It was an agricultural department program that was kind of shut down.
Yes.
Those folks have had to go to a different loan program during the shutdown. But other than that, we have not seen the impact directly with us because we watch activity, interest of buyers, interest from sellers. We've got a couple new listings that are coming on the market here. We've got some open houses planned for this weekend as well. So I think overall, we right here is, bumping right up into the major metropolitan area, haven't seen a great deal of impact, but it's right there on the cusp, right?
Yes.
It's kind of like right there on the edge of happening if this would linger and last much longer.
And if another positive spin on all of this, I have to give kudos to our lenders out there. They are being extremely creative in ways of helping clients to find programs that will actually be custom tailored to a client in a difficult situation. So I think that's a really good thing as well.
Yeah, I think the pressure cooker that we were experiencing before, during the summer and then perhaps last spring it's kind of given us all some relief to look for different options. You know, properties are staying on the market a little longer.
Yes.
Certainly buyers are, asking, requesting for home inspections and other type of considerations. So maybe not being on that cooker, not being
That's
in
right.
that, that frying pan is probably a better environment for maybe just about everybody.
Everyone, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again for tuning in this week. We are going to ask you the favor, sign up for our newsletter. We have the link below. We always appreciate you following us. We do an exclusive email newsletter every week. In there, we have great tips, whether you're a home seller, home buyer.
There's some really good stuff in there.
Investment stuff. We have a bunch of stuff. So you have to check it out. If you don't like it, then you can unsubscribe afterwards.
Yeah, we'll look forward to seeing you next week.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.